I was listening to the story about, it was the story of a family in Washington, and the little boy called the Bigfoot the cowboy man. And he had, apparently it had made an effort to steal this kid. And it hit me. My children were in that playpen behind me with nothing but a mosquito net over them. It could have crept up behind me and taken both of my children, and I wouldn't have known.
His father just got like a Mustang or something from Wyoming, okay? He had it out in the corral because he couldn't put it in the barn in the stalls with the other horses because it would kick and made all the other horses nervous. Had a Seminole Indian working the horse trying to break it every day. So they had it out in the corral. This skunk ape snuck up behind this horse and grabbed it on its hind quarters. This particular horse kicks out, jumps over the corral, runs into the pasture, to get away. At this point, the rancher's out there just blasted away with the dirty. Skunk ape runs into the swamp.
I went up there one day after that, or 2 days after that. I went up there and sat in the silence up there, and I'm telling you, man, it was free. It was crazy. There was a crazy vibe up there still. I did what I could to kind of get things under control, but I told her, I said, you need to get off this property. I feel like no matter how strong you are, it's almost like standing in the ocean. You can't stand still without moving your feet. You're going to get knocked over eventually, no matter how strong, whatever. You can't withstand a barrage of weird spiritual energy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Paranormal Odyssey. I'm your host, Wayne, joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Miss Tiffany. What's up, ma'am?
How are ya? I'm excited to be here, always.
I am fantabulous.
And it was warm today, yeah?
Oh, my God, it was great.
So wonderful.
How awesome was it? It's been like in the 70s the last couple of days.
Well, we haven't gotten that high. Like we were 65, 67. We for a walk on the trail.
For all of our Tuesday shows, my dad and my stepmom take Scarlett, my 3-year-old daughter. They're watching her while we do the show, and they take her out to eat and stuff. But it was warm enough today that she got to go to the playground, to the park before dinner. And usually I got to fight with her a little bit. She's whiny. No, I don't want to go. I was like, Daddy's got to work. No, I don't want to go. But tonight I said, they're going to the playground. And she was like, okay, bye, Daddy. Mwah. Like, trying to give me kisses. See ya. Bye. So I had no problem tonight. But yeah, the weather's been awesome.
It has been, and it's going to freaking snow. I mean, do y'all want it? I mean, you can have it. Don't tease me with the summer weather and then tell me in the next breath, oh, it's going to be 67 today, but next week you're screwed. It's going to snow.
And it's going to snow. You just got to ruin everything. Why are you like that?
I can't help it. It's just that hair. I just get it. But today was better with Cooper, as you probably saw on my Facebook.
He didn't take a dump in your car today?
Oh my God. The 50 shades of red I went through on the way home while this dog is in my back seat, just like mashing it into the fabric of my car. I couldn't get home fast enough. But he's so nervous in the car. I mean, I get it, but it's like, I thought he just had gas because hounds have noxious gas.
And then that smell didn't go away.
We get to PetSmart, and it's not until we get to PetSmart that I go to get him out of the car, and there's poop on his leash handle, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I said, you are going home, you're grounded, because PetSmart's like Toys R Us to him. And I'm like, you are not. But today he did okay.
Yeah, good for Coop, or Red, as I like to call him. All right, guys, we hadn't done a poll question in a little while, so I want to read this real quick. Tonight's poll question: do you believe that ghosts travel from location to location? Right now, overwhelmingly, 72% say yes. 28% says No, definitely want to get our guests' opinion when they come out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, got a couple of awesome a few awesome guests. There's 3 of them backstage waiting to come out. So we're gonna go ahead and pay some bills so that we can get them out of here. Out here. So we can talk to
Sorry,
them.
Wayne can't
Eventually
talk
they'll be
tonight.
out of here. But it's hard for me to do more than 1 or 2 things at a time, guys. I'm sorry.
English is hard for him this evening.
Talking's hard. All right, guys. If y'all are new to the program tonight, we are certainly happy to have you. Thank you for stopping by. Please, before you leave, take a second, hit that subscribe button. Help Miss Tiffany and I continue to grow this show.
And if you would like to be a guest on our show, you can reach out to both of us, Wayne at paranormalworldproductions.com, or me, Tiffany at paranormalworldproductions.com, and we can get you slated in for March because we're already full for this month. So just reach out to us at one of those emails.
We busy.
Busy.
Paranormalworldproductions.com is our website. Invite everyone to head over there and check it out. Check out all of the podcasts under the studio's umbrella. Sign up for the Bigfoot newsletter. Pick up some merch. All of that cool stuff. You got to head to paranormalworldproductions.com to do any of that.
And if you have any questions for tonight's guest, as always, I highlight them throughout the show and we save them to the end. And we do a rapid fire Q&A with them. And I would love to get your questions in. Just put them in all capital letters, please.
All right. I want to remind everyone about my organization, manimalresearch.org, or just Manimal Research, but our website is manimalresearch.org. Miss Chris Blaylock has recently put that together. She is our administrator, doing an awesome job over there. If you're having anything going on in your property that you think might be Bigfoot related, we would love to be the ones that you trust to come out and have a look at that. Also, if you are interested in being one of the people that goes out and looks at these properties, then we would love to talk to you about that. We're up to 20 members right now in 6 or 7 different states. So Manimal is growing, doing some really cool stuff. We have a camp out next month that we are excited about. So yeah, head over to manimalresearch.org and check everything out. All right, you want to tell them about our membership? We need to just go ahead and make this a regular thing.
Always.
Yeah.
Because we're always going to have a membership.
Yeah. Talk about our membership.
Well, it's the best membership that you could ever join in your whole entire life.
Hell yeah.
In the history of ever, this is the best one. And the least expensive one, it's $1.99 a month.
Look what Alex says. Look what Alex says right here.
Become a member. It's so worth $1.99. You can't buy soda. You can't buy jerky. You can't buy nothing for $1.99. And with this $1.99 this month, we are doing the February free-for-all. And so our current members and anyone who becomes a member will be put into a hat for a giveaway that we're doing at the end of this month. And you just can't beat it. You have members-only lives where you get extra content, members-only discords. I mean, it's the bee's knees, man.
The bee's knees? Is that what you said?
The bee's knees.
Do bees have knees?
Yeah. Bumblebees do. You can clearly see them.
Okay.
So, yeah, it is the bee's knees. And
yeah.
you get
So,
giveaway.
Do what?
I said, and we do all these giveaways.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Again, $2, guys. Less than $2. It helps us out. It goes a long way. And we certainly appreciate it. Also, lastly, before we get to our guests, if you guys notice at the bottom, the ticker, our Cash App and Venmo is up. A lot of you guys have been helping in the past, have helped us out with super stickers. And we That's awesome. We appreciate it. But the problem with that is YouTube likes to take their fees, and they take a lot of them,
Yes.
35 to 40%. We need the money more than they do, guys. Just saying. And you got to wait a whole month before you get that. So
Right.
we've been asking you guys, and you've been awesome by doing it. Help us out with the Cash App or the Venmo. It comes directly to us. The fees are just a fraction of what we were paying through YouTube, and we get it right away, so we don't have to wait a month. It helps out so much. You guys have been awesome with it. If you'd rather just do the super stickers, if you don't have Venmo and Cash App, that's fine. We appreciate your support either way. We love you, and we thank you for everything that you do.
And Mr. Tiffany said that a lock of your beard and a square of my Mickey Mouse PJ pants is the prize this month.
We need to just add that to the giveaway.
Hey, I mean, I can surely cut off a square piece of fabric, but are you willing to?
I mean, look at these locks, guys. I mean, y'all see that?
But your beard. Are you really gonna cut a chunk out of your beard?
No, I cut 2 inches of my beard off just like 3 or 4 days ago.
I thought it looked shorter.
There you go. And I could probably go through my garbage and get that hair.
That's awful. No, we can't do that to our members. They need the fresh, clean stuff.
Put in a special request if you want my garbage hair.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Yeah, that's dumb, and we're gonna stop right there. Get the hair.
I don't even have words.
Okay, well, Tiffany, tell everybody about our guests backstage that are waiting patiently through all of this stupidity.
Yes, they are forever investigating beyond, and I found them on my, you doom scroll on TikTok, but I found them, and I was just watching their TikToks, and then they had recently started a YouTube channel because TikTok was supposed to go away, so they had recently started a YouTube channel, and I spoke with Tim on the phone last night, and I told him, I said, I wanted to bring you on because people need a voice, and we offer that platform to be able to give these people a voice and say, hey, this is what we do. This is what they do investigations. They make their own devices. And let me tell you, I'm so excited I can't even breathe. I went to, I think it's GoShop.com, and their REM pod is like $200. To get into this field, it is ridiculously expensive. So to help people be able to get into this field, they started making their own devices, and they're amazing. I'll be showing them throughout the show. But I just really wanted to bring them out and give them the opportunity to say, hey, this is what we do. We kick ass.
Absolutely. All right, we are getting them out, but before we do, real quick, I do want to say thank you to Joe Pat for the $10 that he just hit us with.
Awesome.
Miss Chris Blaylock hit us with another 40.
Thank y'all.
And then Troy Hensley, my great friend. You think I'd know his fucking last name?
English is hard.
English is hard. Hit us with another 50.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Love you. You're awesome. Let's get to our guests. You ready?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Let's get them out. What's up, guys?
Hi.
Hey, everyone.
Hi. Thanks for listening to us ramble.
Hey, that's what we're all here for.
All right. Very, very cool. Yeah. Well, before we get started, I want to get your opinions. Did y'all get a chance to hear the poll question? I will read it again for you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that ghosts travel from location to location? Now, we'll start with the ladies, and we'll go from her to her right and answer.
I believe they do. I know that some spirits form attachments to people and they can then follow them from location to location. I know I've heard stories about like psychics being able to get their input of certain spirits from a different location than the one that they're at. And I believe very much that they are able to to travel different locations.
Okay.
To a certain extent, I kind of agree with Kate here. I have a different, slightly different belief than what most do. I believe that each structure holds moisture, and spirits are attached to the moisture. The moisture contains memories. It holds memories of what happened, in the past life, and that memory just continues to replay over and over again inside of that moisture. But also, I believe that spirits can follow people as well. So they attach themselves to people, and they don't want to go back. So,
all right. And lastly,
yeah. So I'll echo what my colleague said, but I think there's more than one, right? So you're going to have your memories that are attached to a place. You might have a spirit who's stuck, but also there's the roamers, right? So they're going to be freely moving. And when you talk about seances and again, mediums, right? They can bring these out. So there's nothing in my mind to say that energy can't travel through whatever cosmic waves we have out there.
all right. Very cool. All right. We are going to keep it going because you guys know that the first question we always ask is I want to know how. I'm always interested in knowing how our guests get their start. Like what first piqued their interest, an event that happened, just a curiosity, or what. But we're going to go in the exact same order with that question. Ma'am, how did you get your start?
So I lost some people very close to my family when I was really young, and it definitely sparked an interest in me and like what happens after we pass. I had already known about like spirits and stuff, but it wasn't something I was into. And I started getting a little bit more into it. I never went full into like ghost investigations until recently with Tim. And one of my friends last year was actually my first investigation. But I've always been into learning about spirits and, the kind of horror, creepy stuff, getting into crystals and all of that. But the investigations definitely drew me in and more about what's out there.
When I was really young, I had my first experience with the paranormal. I was having a sleepover with my cousins in my grandma's living room, and I got up to use the restroom. And as I was walking down the hallway, I saw a tall apparition, or what I thought was a person, standing at the end of the hallway. And it freaked me out. I ended up running back down the hallway and then banging on my grandma's door, telling her that there's somebody in the house. And she comes out, turns all the lights on, tells me there's nobody in the house and to go back to bed and whatnot, what normal adults do when you're that young. So throughout my life, I've had numerous experiences. And one of the most memorable is I was in the military. I was on military base, and I was taking a nap, and I heard the rustling of like a plastic bag that I had hanging on the inside of the bedroom door. And when I woke up, there was a small girl standing at the inside of the doorway of the bedroom. And as soon as I looked at her, she rushed at me to the side of the bed and then just immediately disappeared. And I still get chills talking about it to this day, but no, it scared me. And ever since then, I've had more experiences than that, but I've been very intrigued and very interested in why. So.
Right on. All right, Brian.
Yes. So I have never had any personal experiences. I've always been very curious in nature. when you hear stories like Tim's and a million other people across the world, right? Something's going on. So I look at it through that scientific lens. I'd like to find out what that is and actually prove it, because as we all know, something's going on, right? These devices aren't going off. People aren't just all crazy with their stories. So, I mean, even with a lot of your Bigfoot things, right? Cryptozoology, there's something out there. And I just want to be part of figuring that out.
Not everybody's lying.
It's impossible. For millennia, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not all just our imagination.
All right. Now, yeah. All right, let's talk about Forever Investigating Beyond. How did it get its start? Who did it? I'm assuming Tim, or are you the founder? And if so, tell us a little bit about your organization.
So I've been a paranormal investigator for about 10 years. I've been doing this way before FIB Paranormal. So when I used to live out in Indiana, and that's kind of where I started. My original group was called the North Anderson Paranormal Society. And we investigated for a while. We've been to numerous different places, multiple times. I believe I went on about 30 investigations prior to the finding of FIB. But I got a hold of her, and we got together, and she's like, "Oh, I have a friend that's interested in the paranormal," and I'm like, okay, well, let's talk to her. And Chris, she lives up in Wisconsin, so she's not here with us today, but she's another investigator on our team, and we wanted to get her more involved. So we're like, hey, what do you think a good name would be for a paranormal group? And so Chris came up with Forever Investigating Beyond, and we're like, okay, awesome. And then we're like, well, we want you to be more involved, so go ahead and what do you think a great logo would be? And so Chris, she made our logo. So,
and then that was actually just for investigating, but getting into the business part of it, we were actually out visiting Brian's family on a camping weekend, and we're all hanging out, having some drinks, playing some games. And these two started talking about it. And Brian was the one to really encourage Tim, like, if this is something you really want to do, I think it's a great idea. You should go for it.
Yeah, we were discussing. Tim had come to me saying, hey, I wanted to buy some equipment. His last team kind of fell apart and he lost a lot of it. So it's like, hey, we want to rebuild, reinvest, but it's expensive, right? As we said, Tiffany, right, had said that earlier. So he's like, hey, I kind of figured out how to make these. So over a couple of drinks and some bago, we talked about it. And when we really started talking about investigating in general, what is the largest barrier for entry? And that's cost. So you've got all kinds of people all over the world that are trying to get into it, but who has $200, $300 for a REM pod?
Just for one device.
For one device. Mm-hmm. Yep. So we decided, hey, you know what? We can make these and we don't need to make $1 million. What we want to do is encourage individuals to get into it, because the more of us out there, the more likely we are to get some real evidence and really move the science forward.
I can't tell you how awesome it is to hear that, Brian, because I feel the same way with Bigfoot research. I'm a Bigfoot guy. I founded my organization in 2019, and I see you tapping Tim there. I'm hoping you're a Bigfoot guy. But
yes, he's got the stickers on his car.
Yeah,
I mean, I know how to pick them.
There's all these groups, these organizations, big crypto and paranormal, maybe even more so paranormal. And it's like we're all fighting against each other. And when I started my group, Animal Research, and you guys seem like you guys are along the same mindset, it was because of all of the negativity with all of the other groups, all the name calling, the bashing. Everybody wants to be that guy, that one that proves it. And
I want to try to all be number one, but
yeah, we would be so much further along if we would work together instead of working against each other.
So with that being said, I just kind of want to kind of make a comment about what you just said. We actually grouped up with a bunch of paranormal investigating groups on Discord, and we all communicate daily. And we're all trying to get together and do investigations with each other, kind of collab with each other, and just get everybody involved. And they're very active in, our devices as well. So most of the groups that are in there do use our devices too. So, and we do what we can to make sure that we're helping them too. So
yeah, and it's great. We're trying to figure out. Everyone does investigations differently.
Yeah.
So how can we combine everything? Like you said, combine forces and find that one thing, right? That's going to actually give us some proof that we can build off of.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it so many times. I don't want to hijack your show and make it about Bigfoot, but Bigfoot's what I'm familiar with, and we talk about there's got to be some kind of like protocol, like there's no one's held responsible for what they're finding. If we all worked on the same, like with the same guidelines and the same protocols, then maybe we would get somewhere. But it's not happening. And until that happens, neither of our genres are gonna get anywhere.
Well,
But
you're right. It's all about, for the Sasquatch or Bigfoot, we're out here trying to hear hollers and hoots, maybe you threw a rock at me, pounded on some trees. Or for the paranormal investigators, we're just trying to get them to interact with the device. Don't know why, right? But we need to find some kind of method, a scientific methodology.
There you go.
That could push it forward, that we can all work towards, gather actual data.
I mean, that was freaking beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye.
It was wonderful.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to give you guys a chance to talk about all the things that you have built, the way that you do things, but everyone's here to hear about the spooky shit, the stuff that you guys have experienced. We have a whole list, and we'll share those. Tiffany will the places that you have investigated, the things that you have experienced. So Tiffany, pick one of the ones.
One of the
and
places
pop
that
it up there, and let's let them have them tell us about their experiences there.
Okay, well, I have their future investigations. Those are the future investigations.
I can give you a couple.
The future.
Tim's probably already been. So Tim is our guy. He's the guru.
Okay, well, let's just hear about some of your experiences then, because obviously we're not on the same page.
Okay,
we're professional. I
so
promise.
we'll get into our investigations as our group as a whole. But I've been to Randolph County Infirmary. I've been to Blackford County Jail, the Stone Mansion. All those are owned by Save the Old Properties in Indiana. I've been to Whispers Estate. I've been to another place I'm not allowed to say because there's a really good friend of mine, and he's been investigating it since he was a child, and he actually let me gain access to that. He just doesn't want the world to know about it. So I did a private investigation in his building. Been to Bell Mansion a couple times, even brought my daughter there when they had a child investigate. It was really neat. So been down to Octagon Hall, and us as a group, so Kate, I, and Chris went to Whispers Estate. That was the first investigation that we did as Forever Investigating Beyond. The second investigation that we did is Edinburgh Manor in Iowa, and that included Brian after he got on board as well. So
that was my first investigation.
The thing that scared me the most about all those places I mentioned, the thing that scared me the most is probably Octagon Hall. I was down in the basement using our SLS camera, and I had an investigator that was standing up against the back wall. I was just, talking to him. We're, Edinburgh Manor's fantastic. So, but we were just trying to communicate with what was down there. And all of a sudden I saw this figure come on the camera of SLS standing next to one of my previous investigators, and it started touching his shoulder. And so then I asked him to back out of, the screen in front of me, and it started crawling against the wall and like moving around different places. And so I told him to come over to where I was and look at it. And as soon as he came around to where I was at, it disappeared and we couldn't get it to come back again. But no more than 15 minutes later, we heard a really loud scratching noise. It sounded like somebody took a table or a desk and moved it like 5 inches above our head. And we were all downstairs in the basement. I think I saw that video somewhere. It might be on my old YouTube, but it's out there somewhere. But yeah, that's the only thing that really, really scared me. So.
Well, something moving across the wall is enough to scare the hell out of me. So, I'm just saying.
It was just unexpected. It was loud and it was sudden, and it was just very unexpected.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So, Kate, what is the most scared you have ever been on an investigation? Where and what happened?
Well, that would be at Whispers Estate when this guy decided to scare me
I was
by
gonna
jumping
say, I
out
hope you told
behind
it.
the oven.
I had to. It was our first time.
It was my first investigation. I wasn't quite sure what to expect because, being a horror fan and watching all the movies and seeing the TV shows, it's absolutely totally different than what you see there. And, of course, my anxiety's up and I'm nervous. I don't know what to expect. And I went across the kitchen to the bathroom. As I come out, he's like crawling across the floor from behind the oven. And I shrieked and ran into the dining room.
Why was he crawling across the floor? Well,
To scare her.
To scare me.
just to scare her.
Hey, you either go big or you go home. So
There you go.
But ghost and spooky vibes wise, it was at Whispers because they have a like a seance room in the attic, and it gave off vibes that I was like, nope, I don't want to go there. I'm good staying over here in this room, but I have no need to go over there.
Yeah, because you can just feel it. It gets heavy, real heavy when you walk into a room like that.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, what about you, buddy? Most scared you've ever been?
Well, so when we started out at Edinburgh Manor, we took the tour. And this is good for anyone who's going. We did the whole tour, and we were downstairs, what they call the padded room, which is where the Joker supposedly hangs out. That's that 9-foot tall spirit everyone's so fond of. The entire group was behind me, kind of looking in their third basement, the boiler room. And I had a new iPhone, so I'm just taking pictures down the hall with different settings to see how it reacts. And I took 3 pictures in rapid succession. And we didn't realize till we were reviewing the pictures that the light at the end of the hall had turned off. No one's there. Everyone's behind me. We're like, oh my goodness. And we walk over and realize that light switch had actually physically been turned off.
And there's only one light switch.
And there was only one light switch. Trust me, we looked everywhere to see. Yeah. So that was a heck of a way to start the night. And then from there, it was just that place has a feeling all its own. We had little Susie, they call her. She's a spirit that roams around on the second floor men's wing, believe it or not. And they say she'll hold your hand. So I've got a K2 meter in my hand, my right hand, and it's going off. And we figure, what's the problem there? I had my cell phone in my pocket, so I throw it on a bed. And that K2 meter kept going off in my hand.
Well, in those K2 meters, they're it's hard to get them to go off.
It is. I actually stopped using one for a while because it's like, this thing isn't going off. Does it work? And then all of a sudden, Brian kind of brings back my belief in them. So
yeah, it was real, and it was fun, but definitely had the vibes. Unfortunately, that night was cold, and I've never ever experienced wind. We're in the Chicagoland area, it's the windy city, but wind and cold in Iowa is a whole different game.
Okay. Guys, what about apparitions? Any of you ever seen one on an investigation?
I have not.
I've seen shadows. Even while we were at Edinburgh Manor, I saw a shadow at the end of the hallway, and I told Brian, he was in there with me. I said, "Dude, I just saw a shadow." And so I went down the hallway, and I was looking around. There was nothing there. Now, mind you, we do have motion sensors around everywhere. Unfortunately, none of them caught that, but I was looking dead center down the end of the hallway, and I looked at Brian and said, "I just saw a shadow."
And what's interesting, Tim was recording. So he had a cell phone out recording, and we played back to that exact moment, and it artifices, right? So you've got a nice clear view of the hall, and then there's an artifact of this exact second. He goes, "Hey, I just saw a shadow," and the video goes kind of wild.
Wow. So it picked up that energy in that recording that just sent it
That must
haywire.
have.
That is wild. Yeah, I would love to go. I don't know if I could like go to the boiler room with the Joker, because I've watched so many investigations on that manor. But I don't know, it would be exciting. I think all in the same thing.
All right, so what's y'all's favorite place to investigate?
We're kind of limited on our.
I mean, I
our
could say
background.
Edinburgh because it's the only place I've investigated. It was a blast.
As of right now, I say Acteon Hall. I mean, obviously, I've been there twice. I want to go back. But I've been to, like I said, I've been to Randolph County Infirmary 3 times, and I've been to Blackford County Jail 3 times. And, I like all of them. We're going to new places coming up. I want to mention Tori Westoff. She just opened Sleeper's Mortuary in Iola, Kansas. So if you guys don't know anything about her, she's an author of paranormal. She's also a paranormal investigator. She writes books on like different places. So she has one on Melbourne Manor. There's one on Edinburgh Manor. But she gives information about the resident spirits that are there. And anybody who has passed away on property, she has that inside of her book as well. So,
yeah, and her information that she has in the books is fantastic because a lot of times you get names coming through.
What was her name? Tell me again.
Tori Westoff.
I think we had her on. Has she written several books?
Yes.
About people that have passed on, and she like goes deep diving.
She does an incredible job.
We had her on. That was amazing. That was a great episode.
Oh yeah, she's a great person.
We used her book at Edinburgh Manor, and I tell you, it's probably one of the best tools that we've used. If you're using a spirit box and you're just trying to communicate with somebody and you don't know who, and all of a sudden that name comes across the spirit box, all you got to do is flip. It's all alphabetical order by first name. Just flips that page, and it tells you exactly who it is, when that person was born, when they passed away, the information about how they passed. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah, she's got death certificates, obituaries, everything.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
I need to reach back out to her because she and I talked a little bit after, and I was going to get one of her books, and we just stopped talking. But that was a great episode. That's awesome.
I was thinking because Tim, you and I were talking about her last night on the phone. We were talking about the investigations and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she owns Sleeper's Mortuary. Like I said, it's just newly opened. Sunflower Investigator, he's been there along with Penn Paranormal and SoCo Paranormal. If anybody's following him on TikTok or YouTube or anything, but just a couple investigators have been there. So we're going April 26th and September 26th. We're collabing with different groups. So.
Awesome. And the beauty of that is it's new, so it has not been researched to death, right? So it's going to be all new experiences. We're going to figure out maybe the spirits aren't as tired of the same questions, right?
Right, exactly. I know, and that's one of the exciting things is you have a building like that that's almost a virgin, so to speak, because it hasn't been investigated. So it should be really interesting to see what you guys get from there.
Yeah, we upload all of our stuff to TikTok, short videos, and we do have a YouTube channel as well, FIB Paranormal, and also a Facebook group page. We upload all our stuff to those platforms. Now, as FIB Paranormal, we haven't really been on a lot of investigations together. So it is a newly made platform to each, but we are very interactive and we post stuff all the time. So
have any of the three of y'all been touched or scratched or
Good question.
anything like that? Yep.
No.
Yeah.
I have not, but I've had an investigator get scratched on his back once.
So was it like the 3 scratches? Or was
It was
one?
2, but it was down the middle of his back, so it wasn't anywhere that he could scratch himself.
Well, and that's what really makes it 100% clear. Like, because you can't do
Right.
that, you know.
Oh, and that's our investigations, right? We're debunk first. We want to make sure that we are absolutely eliminating any false positives.
As any respectable group, again, I'll bring up Bigfoot, paranormal, cryptid, whatever. That's what you have to do. You have to debunk it first before you present anything as possible evidence. You cross your I's and dot your T's
Yep.
to make sure that everything else is not possible. So it's awesome that you guys are doing that. Let me ask you, Ouija boards, yay or nay?
No, don't play Ouija boards.
Oh, amen, amen, and amen.
I've used them before, no success. I'm not saying they don't work for
Good
people.
job. You don't want to be successful.
Right.
Yeah, we want to fail at that.
I prefer not to use them because they just don't work for me. So
I've
I
never
bought
used-
one when I was a kid, like 12, 13 years old. I bought it at freaking Kmart. If anybody remembers Kmart.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I swear, like 2 weeks in, I returned it and told them the reason was because it didn't work. And
There
they
you go.
gave me my money back.
The game didn't work. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. But we've all heard horror stories about Ouija boards. Maybe it's just not us. Maybe mine was like mass manufactured. Maybe there's like an underground Ouija board you can get. I mean, I don't know.
You gonna really risk buying a Ouija board from the dark web, Wayne?
That's exactly. Go to the dark web and buy that Ouija board.
No.
At the same place you can buy a kid.
Right.
You know, you might be at the wrong place.
This is true.
Oh my God, that just threw me off. I had another great question. I had a great question that was just going to completely shatter everyone's mind, and it was just going to send this in a completely different direction. But y'all messed me up.
But you forgot.
There you go,
Because
Way to go, Brian.
sometimes it's just hard to brain, isn't it? It's just hard. English is hard. Braining is hard.
Thinking's hard, y'all. All right. So, Miss Crystal Blevins, that is in the chat tonight, will get a laugh. And everyone that has followed this show from day one has heard me say this on every single paranormal person, investigator that we have ever brought out. And I'm going to ask you guys. The one thing, literally, the one thing that has stopped me from doing what you guys do, because I'm interested. I've always been just enthralled in ghosts and spooky shit. But the one thing that has stopped me from actually going out and doing it is that fear that something is going to latch on. It's going to come home with me. I'm going to give it to my kids. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to get rid of it. I'm going to become possessed by some demon. I don't know. That's why I don't want to do it. Have you guys personally or heard of anyone that's happened to, or a spirit latched on and you brought it home with you?
So we have a member of our Discord group of all the paranormal groups that we're connected with, and he was telling us a story about how he goes to mainly cemeteries, and that he was
His name is Anthony Ghost Guy.
Yeah,
by the way.
And he was doing his thing and, talking to the spirits. And as he's walking back to his car, he said he just felt this energy just like latching onto him. And he just stopped in his tracks and said, "No, you are not coming with me. You need to stay here." And I think he said he got in his car and still felt like that energy was there. He jumped out, opened all the doors, and just like ordered it to get out and like, "You are not coming with me."
That sounds like Bobby Dizzle, what Bobby Dizzle did when he left. Remember him telling that, Wayne?
I do not.
Oh, well, dang.
Refresh my
Raining
memory.
is hard. Raining, it must be really hard for you today. But yeah, he did the human pendulum. And he said that after he left, he got out of the car and he was like, got to get out of here. Come home with me.
I do remember that. He was talking about like in the South Pittsburgh area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I let spirits know, like, you are not allowed to come back home with me. You're not allowed to leave the structure that we're at. You have to stay here. And I always do the best I can to say goodbye before we leave, and that's something that I've always done. So be respectful.
Yeah, man, I don't know, because I feel like if they have the ability to still hang around and not pass on and just haunt people, why do they have to obey you?
They don't have to. I think as long as you're respectful in the beginning and you're respectful during, I think like Who's Your Paranormal says, it's all about intention. But as long as you're respectful to them, they should be respectful to you. If you feel at any time that they're not being respectful to you, then like I got called a moron a couple times at Whisperers Estate, at least 3 different times in 15 minutes. We ended up going back downstairs because I don't do the whole disrespect thing. So if I'm not going to be disrespectful to you, you can't be disrespectful to me.
Right.
Yeah,
I feel that.
And a lot of that just opening yourself up to it, right? So when you do rituals or any kind of seances we talked about, right? That opens yourself up to that interaction. So if you're just interacting, you're probably good. But when you start doing other things, drawing pentagrams and whatever, right? That's really when it's a challenge and you're actually probably in trouble.
Oh, see, Wayne, you'll be fine. Because you're gonna walk behind Crystal and she's gonna face all the demons, and she'll just
it all depends on what your beliefs are and what you put your faith in. A lot of people take crystals for protection, or they sage afterwards. They make that affirmation that I'm safe, you are not going to harm me. And I've not heard of anybody that we know personally that is
just anecdotally
had an issue.
Well, when you hear too, you could go, and I used to love antique shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started doing the show, and now I've not been in an antique store, because if you buy the wrong thing,
you're like, I don't know what else I'm bringing home.
That's another trick, right? Don't take artifacts. Leave everything kind of where it's at.
So
you guys believe that? You believe that actual items can be haunted?
I believe there are things that are attached to things that, if it's something very important to that person in the living, and then when they pass on, I believe that their spirit holds on to that because it's something that they've protected and held on their entire life. And I believe that they are attached to certain things. Yeah.
All right. Well, I was just actually shocked to look up and see how many questions you guys have.
I know a lot of questions, and I still want to put their, devices up there, because it's something I really, I know.
Can I
Well-
talk about that for a second?
Yeah, talk about the devices, please.
Okay, so the reason that we started building the devices,
Yeah, Tiffany, start put
I'm
up the
working on it.
devices like periodically.
I'm ahead of you, buddy.
There you go.
the reason we started building the devices is because we want to have some type of way for paranormal investigators or paranormal enthusiasts to go on our website and purchase these devices at a much more affordable price. Everything that we do is handmade and hand customized. So you can get on our website and you can tell us what you want if it's a customized device, and we can make that for you. Now, Kate here is the one that does all the customization, and she does a fantastic job. Brian and I build them. And we just want to be able to leave our mark and say, hey, we have something for investigators at an affordable price. Now, we know going on ghoststop.com is very expensive. And like Brian said, that's a hurdle for people who want to get into it, or even investigators that are already into it, because it is a hobby. It's not your life, right?
Yeah.
And you're purchasing a $200 REM pod, and
Some people only use it once a month.
right.
Mhm.
But let's say you go to, or you get ready to go to an investigation, but you don't have any equipment. All of a sudden you go on Ghost Stop or ghosthuntersequipment.com or wherever you purchase your equipment. And then you go on this investigation. By the time you're done, you spent nearly or more than $2,000.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why our entry level is $60. Get you in the door. Again, you get into it, you get a group going, you want a customized one, right? You're going to be still under the $200 plastic box. Now, I talk about their plastic box because it's lifeless, right? And what we're selling is something you would have you can display in your home. It's not just in a box in between investigations. You want to have it out. It's going to have your group logo or something that means something to you.
Yeah.
So now it's a conversation piece. It transcends equipment. It's personalized and special.
It's also something that if the spirits start interacting with it, that they could be drawn to that design. I just did a pendulum board for one of the members of our Discord who one of those, but she got the symbol of Lilith on it. And she's like, it resonates with me. It's something that's meaningful. And, you know, some of those symbols can draw spirits in and they want to investigate it, just like we're investigating them.
Well, I think that's cool because Tim, you and I talked about this last night. We had another gentleman on who made the devices. However, they weren't customizable. They're, and what you guys do and what I've seen, and which is why I wanted you to come on so badly, is because you do something completely out of the box, so to speak.
Yeah. And we want to make sure that the things that these investigators are getting, like us, is personalized to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that even if we make 2 Ouija board style REM pods, they're not going to be the same. They're all different. And, we've made multiple REM pods with logos on them, investigators' logos, and they love them. Every single person that had purchased our equipment has made a video about it on TikTok and sent it to us because they absolutely love it. All of our equipment works just like what you can find on Ghost Stop or ghosthuntersequipment.com. Also, we are partnered with Ghost Coast Paranormal. They are a touring group down in Savannah, Georgia at the old Savannah Theater. So if you guys ever find yourself down there, make sure that, it's rated the #1 tour in the area. They also hold our equipment and sell our equipment. So they're a partner of ours and they do a fantastic job. They're great people. Mm-hmm. They're really nice. And they're amazing. So
that's awesome. And you use your own devices. I mean, 100% that they work. You're not just selling it to make $1.
No, we use everything that we build.
And we do field tests a lot of it. So if we're going on an investigation, we'll bring 10 devices and we'll use them in the field just to make sure they work and to prove it out.
And then we'll send them out to our customers. Yep. So it's like these have been used and tested. We brought 7 REMs to Edinburgh Manor, and we sent some of those out to some of our customers. Said, "Hey, we use these at Edinburgh Manor. They work great. They worked for us."
That's awesome.
So,
Cool. and behind the equipment
Mhm.
working. You know, we want to make sure everybody's satisfied. You know, we've had one that had an issue with it. She let us know right away. We said, absolutely,
This ghost.
send it back to us. We'll get you a replacement one. You know, we'll see what was going on with it, but here's a brand new one. We know for sure it works.
That's cool.
All right. Well, we definitely want you guys back, because I feel like we didn't even scratch the surface of some of the stuff that you guys have done. But we do have, like I said, so many questions. I don't know that we'll get through all of them because we are on a time limit tonight, but we are going to go ahead and jump in.
There's
So
17.
Okay.
guys, do as best as you can. I don't know that we will get through all of them, but we will do our best. Marianne L. Bolt, do you think ghost kids are really child or something
Children.
else?
You have to be careful with that because some can come through as what you would think to be a child, but they're using that to try to get close to you. So you have to really try to understand what its intention is, and maybe using a spirit box or other pieces of equipment can help you determine what the intention of that spirit is. And if at any time that you're investigating and something comes through that's malevolent or anything, then you just need to stop right away and tell that spirit you're not going to talk to them anymore.
Okay. Goony Goo Goo, do you think that spirits can transfer its energy to objects? Great question.
Yeah, definitely. I believe they can. That you get so many people that have so many important objects to them in their lifetime, and sometimes it's that one doll. You always hear about haunted dolls, or like Tiffany was saying about antique shopping. People get attached to their things, and sometimes they just don't want to leave them.
Awesome. This right here may be the best question in just a long time, and I'm curious of it. Mr. Mike Wolf is asking, how do you approach a place you want to investigate to get permission?
A lot of the places that we go to, we book it in advance.
A lot of them are publicly known places that have websites that invite groups to do public tours, or you can contact them for private tours. Tori with Sleepers is a new one that reached out to the groups that she knew that we were part of, and then once she opened it, she started opening it to the public as well. So it really depends on the place.
Yeah, no, if you're going to look at this abandoned house down the road that you've been interested in, right? I'm a big hunter, so I would say you go find the property owner, just be respectful, offer help, say, hey, I'd like to investigate your property, anything I can do for you, and be very open. And again, at all times polite.
Yeah.
But don't trespass,
awesome.
guys.
Trespassing.
Brian,
do not trespass.
Brian, that's awesome advice. That's really cool. All right, moving on. Joe Pat, have you ever heard that mirrors facing each other can be doorways for spirits, and have you investigated that?
So when I went to Randolph County Infirmary, they had mirrors in this room. They call it the scrying room because, some people use mirrors to scry.
Whispers had that too.
Yeah. And Whispers had it too, except they had mirrors all over this room, and it was like a squared room with mirrors facing each other. I believe that they can use it as a portal to come through. I guess it all depends on what you believe. I can't answer that with a solid yes or no.
I've also heard that even a single mirror by itself, depending on what you're using it for and your intentions, if you're doing a type of ritual, it can be used as a doorway as well.
I would agree with that. And we just had Crystal on not too long ago, and I asked her the same question. I was like, hey. So yeah, totally.
All right. Miss Chris Blaylock, what do you think shadow people are?
Brian?
Anyone?
Shadow people? Well, either it's 2 a.m. and you've been up all night and it's a figment out of the corner of your eye, or it's just a physical manifestation of a presence. Right? You can call that a spirit. You can call it malevolent energy, maybe it's just something between the veil of dimensions, right? So you start talking about dimensions and time. You get into the physics of it all, right? How the past and future and present play out at once. So it for me, it's always, what's going on here? Is it a spirit? Or again, is this a spot that's the veil is thin between dimensions? And that shadow person just is something that you could perceive for a moment through time, right? Along a wavelength. So there's a lot of ways to look at it. It's definitely something, but that's again what we're out to prove. What is that?
Yeah.
That's such a smart answer. I've never thought about it that way.
All right, we're moving on to Troy from Tennessee. Why do so many encounters happen in cemeteries?
I think so many encounters happen in cemeteries because your body is a vessel for your spirit, and when you pass, your spirit leaves your vessel. And I believe that if your spirit isn't going to be able to move on, or it can't move on, then it's going to constantly be searching for the vessel it was in so it can continue to do what it needs to do to continue life, or I guess, its version of life.
Maybe that's why they attach to people.
Possibly.
Yep.
All right, Mike Wolf, is there anything you don't want to encounter?
I don't want to encounter. I've never encountered a demon. I don't want to encounter a demon. They're very harmful, and that's something I don't want to bring into my home around my kids either. So
I'd be good not having a poltergeist too.
Yeah, poltergeist.
My house is messy enough. I don't need help.
Again, the good news on the demon front, right? Unless you're actually beckoning that demon or looking for trouble, you're most likely not to find it.
Yeah. All right. Also, Mike Wolf, what is your favorite and least favorite tool to use in an investigation, and why?
Ooh,
I don't have a least favorite. Every tool that we use works in its own way, and it works in conjunction with other tools. So, I'm not going to say that I have a least favorite tool, but my favorite tool to use is probably an SLS camera. Just recently built ours. And
your new toy.
It's my new toy.
It was a fun build.
It was a fun build. But I like using that because I used it once at the Blackford County Jail, and I was able to get something crawling along the ceiling and my REM pod on the floor going off as well. So as long as you use your equipment properly and in conjunction with each other, then one piece of equipment isn't going to tell you that there's a spirit there. You have to use multiple pieces in order to come up with some form of conclusion that there's possibly something there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and do you think they would come across with different energy levels to be able to manipulate a device a certain way as opposed to another one?
Yeah. Some are more sensitive than others.
And just like people, spirits have different energy levels as well. Like somebody is stronger than another. Some spirits are stronger than other spirits, where this one, like a poltergeist, could move whole households around, whereas a spirit that's just kind of hanging out and more a little bit weaker can barely move a Kleenex.
Right.
Yeah. Troy in Tennessee, do you investigate anything other than ghosts, spirits, and stuff like that?
So
Bigfoot.
I haven't been out searching for Bigfoot. But if you want,
Wayne, I am open to a Bigfoot experience. Though again, I spend
us.
a lot of time in the woods.
I am very much. I do believe in cryptids, so very much so.
Okay. All right. Follow up from Troy. What do you believe Sasquatch is?
I believe he's real.
He's what it is. That they are a great ape that has eluded us because it's intelligent, very territorial, and it's smart enough to know that we're no good, right? That's why they chuck, 50-foot trees and they keep us away.
That's an awesome answer. I mean, that question has been asked so many times because there's people in this community that believe they're aliens. They believe they can shapeshift. They believe all this crazy stuff. But I agree with you, Brian. It's some kind of animal that we haven't caught up with. All right, just a few, or just one or two more. Troy, do you use a CNC to create the devices?
All of our devices are handmade.
He's asking how the boxes are made.
No, we do not use any CNC equipment. Everything is hand done. So hand routers and drills at the moment.
And that's the most that we use. Everything else is hand created.
It's good old soldering irons and putting PC boards together.
You put
All
love
right.
in it.
Yes.
It's all love.
Callie, don't spirits sometimes go back to a special time of their life, no matter what age? I think it's open to all of us, you know? I mean,
I think like we all want to go back and live the greatest part of our life, right? So we all want to be there. And I think if given the opportunity, I think every single one of us would do that. So I 100%, I would say yes. I think spirits would love to go back and live the best moments of their life.
So yeah, and then that opens up. We can talk about like Edinburgh, right? There could also be a memory, as Tim talked about earlier, a shadow or an energy. There is a presence in Edinburgh where they're pretty sure the individual is still alive, but a traumatic thing happened to him. So that memory plays out. So you've got more than one thing, right? It's not just spirits we're talking about. We're talking about several different things occurring around us. So really to put a label on one thing, it's tough to do at this time.
Yeah, because you have the intelligent hauntings, but then you have the residual.
Right.
Correct.
So
Which
it's
is
time.
the replay that, and that's why I say I think moisture in these structures hold those memories, whether it be traumatic or, peaceful, whatever it may be. But those memories are held within the structure and they have to be held in there somehow. And I think the moisture in those structures is what's holding it in.
All right, guys. Tell everybody where they can find you, or do you have anything special coming up? Anything you want to promote? Just this is your time to talk about yourself and just anything you want to talk about.
Okay, so our website is FIB paranormalllc.com. We are doing a giveaway this coming up Saturday on TikTok. So if you're following us, we are giving away some devices.
Investigating equipment, guys. Big giveaway.
You don't have to purchase anything. There's no.
Just
join
Just
us
be
for
there
the
on the
live.
live. Be there on the live.
interact
We'll
with
throw your
us.
name in the raffle and we'll roll. It'll be a lot of fun.
When is that live, and how do you follow?
It's this Saturday at 7?
This
7
Saturday at 7 p.m. Central. You
And
follow
then
us on TikTok.
at Forever Investigating Beyond.
Okay.
Yeah, be there. We're going to give away some motion balls, a K2, and a music box. That's our brand new product that we're promoting. So nice piece of equipment to get for free, guys.
Yeah, I love the music boxes. I think if somebody were to ask me, I've not ever used one, but I've seen them all the time. But those, if you were to ask me what would be my favorite, it would be the music box, hands down.
I've enjoyed making it, and we're still coming up with ideas. So I've enjoyed making it, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So we are making some limited edition REM pod as well. We're gonna call it the Bloody Valentine REM pod. And we're only going to be selling 10 of them on our website. But we're going to be trying to do some stuff moving forward with holidays. Like St. Patrick's, we're going to do like a dark St. Patty's Day themed one as well. And they're going to be limited edition too. So those should be up and running this weekend on our website. So if you're interested in what they're going to look like and wanting to purchase one, get on our website, check them out, and they'll be available to purchase.
That's awesome.
All right. Very, very cool. Again, guys, I feel like there's so much more you could have talked about, so you're welcome to come back.
Thank you.
We will set
absolutely.
that up. We'll set that up if you guys want to, obviously. But yeah, thank you guys so very much for
Yes, thank you so much.
for spending.
Thank you for having us on. We appreciate it very much.
Yeah, Wayne,
Yeah.
Tiffany, really nice to meet you guys. Everyone viewing, thank you so much for viewing and turning in. Tune it in. So Wayne's got my, anyway.
It's
Awesome.
hard to brain. It's okay.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so very much.
Mhm.
And we will talk to you about getting you back on because I know there's more we can talk about. You guys are
Absolutely.
great. Everyone, please check them out. And yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
Guys.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye. So
Oh.
awesome. I knew that would
Nice.
be fun.
Yeah, that's a really, really cool show. And we're going to get them back. Just easy talking, easy, just laid back people. You can
I
tell.
know. Like, look, he wanted the details of the show because it's their debut show. It's an amazing thing. But he wanted to know the details. And he sent me a message saying, hey, can you give me a call? And I'm like, I'm driving down the road. You can give me a call. And it was just like such a fluid conversation that it just kept, but I was in the parking lot of Kroger. And I was like, we can talk about all this tomorrow. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, really good show. Guys, again, thank you so very much for hanging out, being respectful to our guests. You always are. Awesome questions. We love you. We thank you. Saturday, we're doing a show. I don't know if I will be there or not. Well, I know I'm not going to be there because I'm going out of town.
He's just leaving me in the dust to go out of town. And I do not give that a thumbs up. Why did that?
My granddaughter is having a birthday party in Gatlinburg where they've rented this huge cabin with an indoor swimming pool. And I'm going to be there. So, yeah. How you feel now, Tiffany?
I like this big.
But anyway, we got a show scheduled. Hopefully that will happen. Maybe a surprise for you guys. But yeah, I won't be there Saturday. But yeah, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much. We love you. All of the awesome stuff. The people that helped out with Venmo, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Until we talk to y'all again, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Bye.
Peace.
Later, play.